Most insane things owned by richest criminals. From Pablo Escobar to El Chapo, some of the richest people in history have been criminals. These criminals have amassed so much wealth from the underworld that they can buy anything they dream of. Watch the video till the end as we will tell you about a few of these insane things owned by these richest criminals. El Chapo. The first one on our list is Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. From his inclusion on Forbes magazine's list of the world's richest criminal billionaires to his many alleged sightings and supernatural escapes, El Chapo has been one of the biggest drug kingpins who has reached mythical dimensions in Mexican narco folklore. From a low-level trafficker in the Sinaloa gang to the nursery of Mexico's opium dynasty, his extravagant life on the run has been nothing short of legendary. Back in the day, El Chapo had a fleet of submarines and freighters ready to transport his drugs and cash around the world. Along with that, he's said to have entire fleets of private jets dedicated to transporting pounds of cash around the world. The carbon fiber super stealth plane he purchased was valued at $929 million. The plane had the ability to evade both commercial and local radar thanks to its carbon fiber coating. El Chapo even hired a special pilot to fly the plane exclusively for him. The plane was the most extravagant thing El Chapo purchased in his life. El Chapo also owned a yacht, which he named El Chapito. He named the yacht after himself, hinting that he is bigger than his $275 million yacht. El Chapo also has a beach house and a zoo. The Acapulco Zoo has lions, tigers, and even crocodiles. El Chapo is greatly obsessed with large cats, therefore he keeps panthers, tigers, and lions on hand at all times in his zoo. He also has a little train that rides around the zoo, allowing visitors to see all of the creatures in their unusual habitat. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. The next one in our list is Amado Carrillo Fuentes. The boss of a vast Mexican drug enterprise, Juarez Cartel was famed by undergoing illicit plastic surgery to modify his appearance so that he could hide his identity and remain on the run from the government. Amado was a strong leader who was feared and had great power and authority. He smuggled 4 times as much cocaine into the US as any other smuggler, and he was paid for every gram. After assuming control of the Juarez drug cartel, the 40-year-old became known as the Lord of the Skies after amassing a massive fleet of jets, including 727 planes, to transport his narcotics purchased from Pablo Escobar and the Cali cartel. Carrillo had a penchant for buying land. He first bought a house on the plot of land from the Kitskomani family and had it demolished just a few days after closing the deal. Then, in 1992, he began construction on the land to build his own mansion, which was inspired by Shahrazadeh, the main female figure in the 1001 Nights Middle Eastern tales. Carrillo was a feared drug kingpin in Mexico, continuously hunted by the authorities, yet he lived a lavish lifestyle. He is reported to have accumulated a massive 20 billion pounds fortune during his stint as one of Mexico's most notorious drug lords and was never apprehended by the police. Carrillo died in 1997 on the operating table while undergoing plastic surgery to disguise his identity. Al Capone, the boss of all bosses. Al Capone is arguably one of the most well-known criminals in the history of the United States. He made enough money from gambling, robbing, and bootlegging that he could rent a 5-room apartment at the Paulette Metropole Hotel for $15,000 per day. During the 1940s, he earned $100,000 per week from his criminal organization. He was so rich that he bought a home on Star Island in Miami and converted it into a fortress. The one thing Capone did not spend his money on was taxes, for which he was finally imprisoned. After his release from prison, he understood the importance of safety and increased his security measures. As a result, Capone never stayed at one place for long. He, along with his group, would travel throughout the country and stay at opulent hotels under fictitious identities for a week and then move along. Capone also purchased a $40,000 getaway home on Palm Island, Florida. Al Capone was always concerned with his appearance, so much that people nicknamed him Snorky, which meant elegant and ritzy. He loved his nickname because he wanted others to know he was the man. He chose the nicest and most expensive items he could locate. He wore diamond belt buckles and pinky rings encrusted with large diamonds. Capone wore dark three-piece pinstripe or chalk-striped suits with fedora hats and a cigar in his mouth at all times. He wore light summer hues like tan and beige, and his jackets cut with patch pockets during his visits to Florida, which made sense given the warm weather. He also loved to wear white pocket squares in his chest pocket, folded in a rakish manner. Capone's ties were often made with silk, having modern patterns, dots, micro patterns, jacquard weaves, and stripes in dark gray, blue, or red color. With his darker suits, Capone used expensive black or brown Oxfords, occasionally with wingtips. The cigar, like Winston Churchill's, was an important element of Capone's identity, and it's one of the first things that comes to mind when thinking of him. Al Capone died of a syphilis-related heart attack in his Florida home in 1947. Dawood Ibrahim. Dawood Ibrahim is one of the most powerful and richest gangsters in the world. The Indian-born criminal is reported to be worth $8 billion. Dawood's economic interests through D Company cover 15 countries across 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa, as well as a vast number of Benami assets in various locations throughout the world. Dawood has 9 homes in Pakistan, one of which he purchased near the home of Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, the son of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. His luxurious Clifton Enclave property in Karachi is extended over 36,000 square feet and has a waterfall, a temperature-controlled swimming pool, a tennis court, a billiard court, and a running track, among other amenities. He is known for living life to the fullest and has a keen sense of style. He dresses in Seville Row-stitched suits, wears a Patek Philippe wristwatch, and drives top-of-the-line Mercedes and sports automobiles. As part of its global sanctions campaign, the U.S. Treasury designated Ibrahim as a terrorist, barring U.S. financial institutions from dealing with him and allowing the seizure of assets believed to be under his control. He is currently said to be living somewhere in Balochistan, Pakistan. Pablo Escobar. Last person on our list is none other than Pablo Escobar Gaviria. The king of cocaine was one of the most brutal and successful drug lords of all time. Pablo was born in Colombia and was the boss of the Medellin cartel, which controlled 80% of the global cocaine market. As the Medellin cartel amassed enormous wealth, Pablo rose to become the world's 7th richest man, with a fortune of $30 billion. As the money was so large, he had to bury it in warehouses, fields, and other safe places he could find. Pablo owned huge residences in different parts of the country, private planes, and even a prison. In 1991, when Escobar made a deal with the Colombian government to turn himself in, he built himself a prison called La Catedral. The prison had a nightclub, a waterfall, a soccer field, and a sauna. Other than that, Escobar owned Hacienda Napoles, which is now a tourist attraction. There was a zoo, a tennis court, a sculpture park, a soccer field, and a significant collection of antique and luxury automobiles on the enormous estate. There was also a private airfield, a karting track, artificial lakes, and even a bull ring on the property. Escobar's infamous zoo had 200 animals, including zebras, camels, elephants, ostriches, giraffes, and more. Except for 4 hippopotamuses, which grew to 40 by 2016 after Escobar's death, the animals were relocated to other zoos. Pablo Escobar also bought Atlético Nacional in the 1980s because of his love for soccer. Despite the fact that Escobar never took a public role in the club's hierarchy, the money he invested had a significant impact on the club. While not being among the best, the team had a strong roster, including a number of Colombian internationals by 1987. Pablo was eventually killed by DEA agents. That is it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed the content of the video. If you did, show some love and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on any of the amazing videos we have stored for you.